Welcome to our guide to study planning, brought to you by the Writing Center at the Academic Resource Center. So, what exactly are study plans? Study plans are a way for students to schedule, plan, and organize for the semester. When you have a study plan, it allows you to sync your work schedule and your school schedule, and you can align everything so that your semester is easier to plan. When you come to the Academic Resource Center and a tutor helps you with the study plan, we're going to look at your course syllabus, right? And we're going to make sure that you understand your objectives, the assessments, evaluations, and major due dates, right? Then we're going to look at your personal life and your schedule, your work schedule, and your personal schedule. And then what we'll do is that we will help you use your Google Calendar, right, to assign and prepare and line up your assignments. So, study plans are important. They are some of the most popular features that we offer here at the Academic Resource Center. And the reason why is because with a study plan, students have reported that a study plan helps to relieve stress. A study plan also takes away the confusion as far as what it is that you're expected to do this semester. And study plans also help you develop very healthy study habits. When you have a study plan, students are much more in control. And the reason why you're in control is because you have a plan laid out in front of you, and that allows you to see if there's conflicts or busy time right before that time arrives. And so that can help you be prepared, right? And it also lets you set very personalized times, right, to ensure that you're in the right mindset in order to be able to study. So, how can study plans be used? What you're using with a study plan is you're using a planner. And with this planner, you're going to have a very structured outline, right? And this outline, we're going to have what we call high demand and low demand tasks. So it allows you to stratify. So what you'll do is you can block out times for academic assignments. You're going to sync your work schedule and you'll sync your personal time. For instance, if you are a parent and you're out of school at 3 o'clock and you have small children, you might feel like, hey, I'm free to study after 3 o'clock. But you might not be free to study after 3 o'clock because as a parent, there's time, personal time, that you need to work with your child. So your child might not go to bed till 8 o'clock. And so from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock, then you might be in active parenting mode and therefore would not be available to study, right? What we do at the Academic Resource Center is we sit down with you one on one. And as we sit down one on one, we have a conversation. We connect with you so that we can see, right, and help you see how is your life structured, right? And what we're doing is we're there, we're giving you support, right? We're giving you advice. Obviously, we're giving you tips on, hey, this is what you can do. We're here to help you and assist you, right? So that when you make this schedule, that the schedule is realistic and something that you can adhere to. So there are different ways to have a study plan. Some people just like to use paper planners and agendas, right? And that is perfectly fine, right? Some will set it up in their Google Calendar, right? And because that app a lot of time attaches to your phone, and nowadays a lot of students are very attached to their phone. You can set it up in your Canvas calendar so that every time that you log on into your Canvas in order to work the modules for your class, that this information is right there in front of you. So that what you'll do is you'll choose whichever one of those that is most comfortable and that you're most likely to go to on a regular basis, right? Beyond study plans, planning a study plan helps you to develop wonderful study habits. It teaches you to look at the big picture. It teaches you time management. It teaches you scheduling. It teaches you higher order concerns, right? And it also helps you kind of identify different resources that you can take advantage of, right, to make your college experience more successful. One thing that we recommend students to do when you're planning out a study plan is just think about what kind of a learner are you? Because the type of learner you are is going to also play a part in how and when and maybe where you study. For instance, if you're a visual learner, you're a person who reads things, right, and sees it with your eyes. So that might be pictures or the text itself, videos or graphs, all of those things that you visualize that helps you remember. If you're an auditory learner, that means that things that you hear, right, might be beneficial to you. So auditory learners do very well if they tape their lectures or if they work in a study group and they listen to the points of the class from other perspectives. And then some people are kinesthetic learning, right? And these are very hands on people where they learn by doing, but also students that are kinesthetic, if you're perhaps taking an English class, right? Learning, writing it out and typing it out, all of these things that has that muscle memory, right? That's how you can do that for any class if you're a kinesthetic learner, right? So when you're preparing to study for class, you also want to think about how do you study? Some people need complete silence when they're studying. Others have what they call white noise, meaning that perhaps music or TV in the background is very comforting for you, right? When you're taking notes, right? Do you do better by labeling things, by color coding them, by putting little tabs there? These are things that we would assist you with. And we tell students if you don't have these things in place, then experiment with different ways that you can take notes and study and prepare for your class, right? Think about it that when you're taking notes, what you're doing is you're taking the information that's being relayed to you and you're writing it down so that when you refer back to it, it makes the most sense to you and you can identify what is important, right? We also recommend that students take advantage of the resources. So when you're creating a study plan, pay attention to your instructor's office hours, right? You can include that in your study plan because if you have difficulty in your class, then it is already there within your plan that, hey, my professor is available Mondays between 8 and 9. You also want to familiarize yourself with the Academic Resource Center's hours, right? In case you need assistance with us, right? You can always meet and exchange information with students in the classroom to form your own study groups. And as an extra tip, you can use the Academic Resource Center as a place for study groups to meet. If you have a teaching assistant in the class, that also is very beneficial because that gives you another resource, right, that you can reach out to. So let's look and see how you would make a schedule, our study plan schedule on Google Calendar. So we looked at your personal life and your work life, and now we want to schedule times to study. And when you schedule times to study, always think of this as an obligation. With your class is Monday and Wednesday and Friday from 9 to 10, then you feel obligated to go there. So if your study time is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 to 1, then you're going to put it in your calendar as a schedule for something that you are always going to make a priority to do, the same way you make a priority to go to class. So let's begin. So we're at Google, right? And so first we're going to sign in. All right, so when you sign in, right, you sign into your Google account, right? If you're signing into the Virginia Community College system, you have your username, and this is your VCC, your email.vccs.edu. You just have your initials and the number beyond your name in this section, right? Now, once you get into Google Calendars, right, you'll always see this icon that will be the letter of your name. But the key is these 9 little dots. When you see these 9 little dots, this is the app that you're going to use to work on scheduling in your Google Calendar. So when you click on these 9 dots, you'll see these icons, your account, your Gmail, Google Drive, document sheets, but you want to focus on the calendar. And it will look just like this. It will actually say calendar, and then it will have a number, usually 31, to indicate that it's a calendar, right? And notice that it looks different from the Google Drive or your Gmail with the M. Now, once your Google Calendar is up, let's say that this is February, right? So this is how your calendar looks, right? Has your Virginia Community Colleges and your initial. Here's your calendar here. Now you want to start scheduling. So first you note the date, right? This is the month, right? You see the days on the calendar. Then you can actually come over here to the left and you can click on the day, right? And you want to pay attention to this little plus sign, this very colorful plus sign where it says create. When you click on create, you're going to see this little square come up. And when this square comes up, that's when you can add your title and time, meaning that you can write study English, right? If this is an event, and when you get done setting this up, you would save it, right? But you want to put in the title right there. And the title is your title so that when you look at this calendar, right, that you'll see that on February 5th, right, you've set up in advance that this is what you're going to do. Okay, so what we put in here is we put in physics homework, right? Now, so the physics homework is on the 5th. If you right click, then you'll see what we call the color options. So the color options can be any of these colors that you see right here, right? So a lot of times in your Virginia Community College system, the professor might already have your classes listed, and your classes might be yellow or green or purple, right? So whatever color your class is, then you want to make your study time a different color so that it sticks out. Okay, now you can actually color coordinate all of your classes. For instance, right, you're going to right click, and let's say that you put in your study plan that you're going to do your biology homework on the 4th. You're going to do that in orange, right? Your physics is in this pretty magenta color. Math is in green. English is in blue. One thing that we do tell students is actually good to color coordinate so you can differentiate between the classes, but also so that at a glance, right, you're consistent. Then when you look at it, you can say, oh, make sure I do my English on the 6th, right? I have my regular classes, but I also need to study for this as well. Right? So if you're wanting to do a reminder, so I have my bio homework, I am clicking for more options because I want to add some information. So I click on the actual date, the bio, right? I click back here, right? Bio, okay. So I'm going to click on that. That's on the 4th. And then I'm going to click for more options, right? This here. This would be to delete it altogether anytime you see a trash can, right? So now I'm seeing all of these extra things that I can add, right? So it's not all day. I'm actually going to put this is the time that I'm going to do this from 10 to 10:30, right? I can add conferencing if I want to, right? But I can add a reminder, right? Hey, this is a reminder. Remind me of this 10 minutes in advance. It's on my calendar. This calendar is linked to my phone, right? But if I add this, then that actually is a secondary source to remind you, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to be studying for my bio homework, right? And it's going to notify me in advance, right? Just a couple minutes so that I will remember because we have busy lives. Okay, now when it asks you how long you want to be reminded, this is where you can increase the number. You can increase this if your class goes on 12 weeks and you want to always study for your biology homework on Mondays, right, at from 10 to 10:30 because you're on campus and you're not at work and you don't have anything to do at home, you're out of the class by 9:15, right? Then you can actually increase this number, right? And it can be just days, right, for the number of weeks. If you decide along the way, if you drop a class, right, or this particular time doesn't work for you, then right in this section, just like that you can notify yourself to do it by email or text, remind yourself that this is going to go on for, 8 times, right, over this period of weeks. You can also delete the whole thing, right, and start over again. So from that, you should be able to schedule what you need in your calendar so that you can make a steady plan that you can adhere to for the month. So if you have any additional questions or concerns, please feel free to contact us here at the Academic Resource Center.